Hey, this is Charles Onyett with IGN. I'm playing Path of Exile here, which is a Diablo-like action role-playing game where you run around and kill a bunch of stuff, and then take the stuff that it drops, equip it on your character, and power up, and then basically just keep doing that. That is the draw of the game, and that is what I have been doing. It is currently in open beta testing right now, so if you want to play it on PC, you can. You can just go to the Path of Exile site and basically sign up and get it, and it's free. The game is supported with a microtransaction model, but from what I've played so far, I've played, this is actually, I'm playing through on the second difficulty setting. This is Cruel. You start out on normal. If you just want to play it regularly, you will basically never feel like you ever have to pay for anything. You know, I've been dealing with, here's the microtransaction tab right here, but what you get for free in this game is basically the whole game. There is nothing that's like locked out or inconvenience features, significant inconvenience features that would really force you to pay any money. I have been playing so far without paying anything, and I don't feel like I'm having an inconvenient or somehow annoying experience because of it. I really like the payment model. You can buy cosmetic upgrades for your character, so if you don't like, here I'll zoom in, if you don't like some of the standard armor designs, such as this log that has a crystal sticking out of it, that is my axe right now, you know, you can get custom effects for your character. So I've seen people running around with like glowing halos and things like that, so you can get fancier effects if you so desire. I have not desired to do so, and I've just been playing more and more because, I mean, the appeal of these games is not just to get to the end and kill the boss, which I've done, but it's to sort of keep powering up your character over and over again. There is global chat in this game as well. It is an online game, although I'm playing by myself right now, but I could party up with others and take on these kind of dungeon spaces in a social type of environment, in which case there are more monsters and... Oop, oh boy, I'm gonna get out of here. In which case there are more monsters, and you also have a better chance of getting good stuff. The looting system, when you are in a social setting, it will drop loot for everyone in the game. So unlike something like Torchlight or Diablo 3, where you only see your loot, it's loot for everyone, except some of the items, the special items, are basically tagged for a certain player who's in the party for a limited time. And then once that timer counts down, and you can see the timer on screen, once that timer counts down, it basically becomes public. So anyone can pick it up after that. There's also a trading system, so if you find a custom trading system, so if you find an item that perhaps you can't use, but maybe someone else in the party can, you can just kind of hand it over to them, or drop it on the ground. But then if you're playing in a public party, you risk basically somebody you don't know running in and taking it. That is always a danger. But, I mean, if you have a couple friends, you like these kinds of games, and you want to just group up and kill a bunch of monsters, you know, there is the structure there to do that. There's also PvP in the game, which I haven't really gotten into yet because I've been trying to level as much as possible before reviewing the game, and basically see how difficulty scaling affects the gameplay, because, I mean, that's an important feature if you're really going to be making more of a commitment to the game. You know, you might ask, why are you reviewing the game if it's an open beta state? Very fair question. You know, normally don't do that, but in this case I've talked to the developer, Grinding Gear Games, and they have said that this game is eligible for review. They have confirmed it, and yeah, though there will be updates. You know, most of the content that is really in the game is already in the game. So there will be updates and things, but I mean, what you get right now is already quite a bit of content. I will say, oh crap, I have to go. I'm gonna go over here, get my healing totem up. And these guys are not joking around. Sorry, they just kind of threw me off a little bit. Let me see if I can curse them. I should probably put my armor on too. I haven't really been doing that. There we go. Okay, I knocked them all out. So I have a couple different skills here, and you see this leveled up as well. But I will talk about that in a second. What I was saying is that Act 3, which is the final act in the game, here I can bring this up real quick actually. So on normal difficulty setting, here you can see Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. These are all just waypoints, so I can go back to this stuff if I want to. I don't. But Act 3 is huge compared to Act 1 and 2. It is a really big act. The maps are enormous, and it gets really dark. So if you played Diablo 3 and perhaps you weren't happy with maybe, you know, it wasn't quite evil enough feeling for you, it wasn't quite dark enough like Diablo 2 was, this gets dark, especially the final sections leading toward at least the finale of what's in the game right now. It's very ghoulish and violent and very dark. So something that, you know, somebody who is a fan of kind of the much darker tone of something like Diablo 2 should be very happy to see. The larger maps can be a little bit exhausting towards the end of the game. They take a long time to run around, and sometimes the waypoint can be kind of irritating to find. But I really like the enemy types. I feel like there's a lot more variety in Act 3. I like it froze me. A lot more variety in Act 3, creative enemy types, and it's just, it seems really well designed. So, overall, the progression of the game is good, and I felt like the best experiences were actually toward the end of the game. It didn't get weaker toward the end as it stands right now. Of course, this is an online game, so as with any online game these days, it will continue to be updated as time goes on with more content and things like that. But what's here is already pretty excellent, and I can talk about kind of the skill system and how. Oh, stop stabbing me! There we go. So as you can see, I mean, there are special enemy types who have who are more powerful than the common types, and they also have a chance to drop better stuff. So all of the stuff that drops is socketed, which is pretty common for the genre. I mean, anyone who's familiar with these kind of games should be pretty familiar with seeing socketed items. But you can put gems into the various socketed items. So you can put gems. I have gems in my gloves. I have pretty much everything here filled with gems, and these gems are not stat boosters. They are actual skills. So these are my active skills that I actually have equipped down here. And depending on how you link them in these slots, they can be powered up. So like my Molten Shell ability, which I believe I can activate right here. This gives me some added damage resistance, or, well, additional armor, I guess. And after it absorbs a certain amount of damage, it will actually blow up and deal damage to whatever's attacking me. So that is really useful to have in a big pack because it will help me survive. And then once it's about to go, or once it takes enough damage, it'll just blow up and it'll actually deal some pretty heavy damage. And that I have modified, basically so that was the correct one. Yeah, so that it lasts longer. So I have a support gem linked to it that increases duration. I have a bunch of different support effects, added fire damage and weapon elemental damage to my heavy strike, which is basically just a more powerful attack that I'm doing right now. Which basically is just a giant damage blast to a single target to whatever I happen to hit. So a lot of customization that you can do here. You can swap these out too whenever you want to. So if it's not like that's stuck in that item once I do that. I can take it out and put it back in. You find items you find the gems as drops. So as you go through the game, you'll get them as quest rewards, but they will also drop off of enemies. So not only are you getting gear, but you're actually getting drops for new skills. So depending on if a drop comes down off of a powerful enemy that has a skill gem that you haven't seen before, it could dramatically affect your playstyle. I just switched up. I'd had kind of the same skill build for a while, and I switched it up because I found an armor skill that I actually am not using right now, but I will. So there, I turned this on. This is actually a group buff. So if I were in a multiplayer game, I would want to turn this on and give everyone additional armor. You can see this does kind of cut into my mana, though. I can't use all of my mana while this is active. So it will permanently take up some of my mana reserves. But that's okay. I think the benefits of that are acceptable. And so combining this, which is 35% more armor, then I turn on this, so now I have even more armor, and then I also can gain endurance charges, which, well, it's not going to do anything if I just do this without any enemies, but if enemies are around, that will gain endurance charges, and endurance charges will further increase my damage mitigation, which I will do here. There you can see some endurance charges around me. I will turn on my other shield and bring up a healing totem that's just going to heal me as I sit here. There you can see the explosion of the my molten shield that basically took out almost everything, and then I'm going to... Oh, I'm slowed again. There we go. Oh, and there's a special enemy in here. Take him out, and unfortunately, that full plate isn't going to do much for me. However, just because you pick up a crappy normal item like this, if you happen... And even if you don't like the skill color sockets, because you do have to fit certain skill gems with the right colored sockets, you can modify most of this through orbs that you pick up. Like, for instance, while I've been running around, I picked up, let's see, I have an orb. Oh, well, I can just, I can show you right now. Orb of Transmutation. Upgrades a normal item to a magic item. So I'm like, well, I like this armor set. I like how much armor it's giving me. I don't like the fact that it has no bonuses on it. Well, you use one of these, there you go. Now you have bonuses on it. So plus 15% lightning resistance. That's not very good. But there are other ways to modify that as well. There are items that will modify a normal item and turn it into one of these yellow items, a rare item, that will upgrade normal or magic items to rare items, and can also rearrange the stats in case you're not satisfied with it, and also modify how the sockets are kind of linked together and set up. So there's a lot of tweaking you can do after finding an item. So just finding a certain item that seems terrible can actually be upgraded into something that's very, very useful, depending on how lucky you are with the rolls, because it's not like you can specifically customize what you want the item to look like. You just sort of have to get lucky, which is kind of the point of playing these games. It's just a whole bunch of dice rolls. I am getting slammed in there. Get out of there. So the reason I really don't want to die, and I'm kind of making a big deal about it, is because in Cruel Difficulty, which unlocks... This guy needs to stop doing this. Let's see if my shield goes off while he's trying to hit me. I don't know if he's doing enough damage. No, I got him. Is because in Cruel Difficulty, if you die, you actually lose experience. So you lose, I believe it's a 7% experience loss off of your bar. Not insignificant. If you die a couple times in a row, you will absolutely see the difference, which can be very demoralizing if you've been playing well for a while and really built up something towards the next level. It looks like I'm almost at my quest goal here. But, I mean, I actually like that effect because it really makes death feel significant, and there's no durability on my items or anything like that. There's actually no money in this game, so I can't... you know, there's no repairs or anything, and there's no money accumulation to pay for those repairs like there is in Diablo 3. So that serves as kind of the big... I'll take that. That serves as kind of the big penalty, and then also there is, you have to deal with kind of resistance drain as you move up in the difficulty settings in the game, which I can show off in my defense parameters here. You can see I have to do something about this chaos resistance because it's minus 20% right now, which means I'm taking additional damage with that, and that is bad. That means I'm going to go down really quickly, especially because I've essentially built my character so that he doesn't have any ranged attacks. I'm all basically upfront stuff and tanky, and a few health recovery moves, but in general, I am not capable of fighting from range, and this is actually going to turn into a fight. Spoilers.
My all flame, my blessed damn.
Okay, I'm going to go through what he's saying. I'm going to hit continue, and then this is going to turn into a battle, and I have to get out of here. Oh my god, leave. Okay, so I've got my health totem up, so what I'm going to do is set my armor on. Hopefully that... Oh, crap. So I died. That was... Yeah, unfortunately I had crappy reactions to what was going on there. I'm going to try that again and try to not horribly embarrass myself in that boss fight. That would be pretty nice, actually. So I'm going to do this properly this time, and I'm going to set up my armor. I'm going to set up that armor, and I'm going to drink my mana potion and come into this fight and curse things so that now when I'm actually hitting things that are cursed... I'm gaining health and mana back. I'm gonna take a potion. Interesting note about potions, if you haven't followed coverage on this game already, potions are not something that you stockpile in towns. There we go, I got a rare item. Potions are just in your inventory, so they just sit here. So I have 5. You can have 5 potions equipped at once, and some of them have stat bonuses on them, so they can actually improve your performance in battle while they're basically recharging. In some cases. And some of them aren't just replenishment for life and for mana, like for instance this Quicksilver Flask will allow me to move faster, actually quite a bit faster. So that I've been using that to kind of get out of combat situations that were otherwise troublesome. Unfortunately, sometimes I get pinned in by enemies if they've managed to surround, so it's not as effective, but it's certainly been very useful, and I think you do get a Quicksilver Flask as a quest reward early in the game, so that's definitely something worth hanging on to. There is a stash back in town, which actually I should probably show off, but if you want to go back there to store your stuff so that when you create maybe an alt character or something like that, you know, you can have a whole bunch of stuff to give them. That's pretty easy to access. I'm going to take out these guys and then head back to town. But yeah, I mean, pretty standard in terms of gameplay, but I really like that skill system I was describing. And then your skill gems actually level up as they're equipped. So as you kill stuff, here you can basically choose to level them up, and now they are more powerful. So you get that additional progression mechanic, which it feels, at least so far from what I've been playing, pretty rewarding. So I'm going to bring... Oop, that is totally not the right menu. This is also the passive skill tree. So when you level up, you get points that you can use in this tree to basically build your character however you want to. And as I've been doing, is building my character out as kind of tanky. So I'm down here working on gaining resistances. I started up here, and that's how the classes are differentiated. Each of the 6 classes will start in one of their own section of this tree. So they start on these kind of circles. I started here. My character is kind of a hybrid strength intelligence. So I've gone mostly strength down into the strength area here. I could have gone intelligence and learned a bunch of spells, but I did not. So yeah, I'm in the process of learning resistances, and we'll probably take some of these boosted life and strength power-ups in here as well. You can also focus on like individual weapon types if you want to. There's a lot of different ways to customize your character in this menu, which I think is really cool. It just requires a little bit of effort. This isn't just the type of thing that you can jump into and be like, oh, here, I'll just start randomly putting points in places, because, I mean, I do have 8 respec points. That is all I've accumulated the entire game. So you do need to think about what you're doing, or you can basically, you know, make a character that isn't ideal, that could be a lot better if you'd kind of pre-planned where you are going to travel on this tree. So it does require a little bit of time on your part, but I feel like if you're willing to invest that time and kind of build out your character wisely, then you know, it can still be a lot of fun to move through the tree and get again a nice sense of progression. Everything in this game, as with most games like this, is built to just reinforce that sense of getting stronger and stronger and stronger until, you know, the ultimate goal being that you're some sort of unstoppable killing machine. I am clearly not at that point yet. Maybe someday. But here back in town, yeah, you've just got the guys who will give you quests, and you know, I can access my stash here. I have a whole bunch of potions saved up, a bunch of rings in case I want to use them to upgrade. I don't think I have any orbs of alchemy, because that is actually what will boost a normal item to a rare item. But you can see all these additional skill gems I've stored down here as well, which I'm not using or leveling. So these are, well, the green ones are dexterity, and the blue ones are intelligence, so these are kind of spells. And I'm not going to use them on this character, so I am just kind of storing them so that for my alt characters, I can come in and immediately kind of have a cool skill loadout depending on what kind of gear I can find, and then I'm just storing like armors and things in the other tabs. I actually found orange items, which is very, very rare. I guess I was pretty lucky in that regard. Unfortunately, I can't really use it. However, I may, if I come through with a dexterity character that gets to level 17, equip that on them. Anyway, that is kind of an overview of Path of Exile, and I mean, I've been enjoying it quite a bit. I feel like it's really well designed. You know, it's had some server instability and some technical issues, but I think that's entirely forgivable. I mean, it is an open beta state again, but it really hasn't hampered my experience that much. It has been irritating, but it hasn't been irritating to the point of, oh, well, I'm never playing this game again, you know, that type of thing. The experience is really, really fun. It's something that I keep wanting to come back to again and again, and my desire to continue leveling my character has not ended yet. So I will continue playing the game, and hopefully have a review of Path of Exile soon on IGN.